want to be a guest.
Alright.
If it's just Chang and Denhoff, it's a yapping duet.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Denhoff podcast. We are here with our lovely guest, Jasmine.
Hello.
Welcome, Jasmine.
Hello.
Jasmine, returning guest of the
Returning
show.
guest.
Returning. Yes. Back and better than ever.
Yeah, you had a kind of a special episode. It was like we were in my kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yeah,
cooking.
you were
It
cooking
was kind
some
of
noodles.
a quirky episode. But yeah, now you're back, so we can make a song. We haven't made it yet, but we'll see
I'm so excited.
what it is.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
we started the season off with a Jasmine. We're going to end off with a Jasmine, so we're happy that you're here. Little Jasmine sandwich.
Happy to be here. Happy to be with you all in your
Yeah.
presence.
Thank you.
It's been so long.
Love you, Jazzy. All right, we like to start off these episodes with a segment that we started this season called the Denhoff Conversation Cards. So essentially what it is, we have these playing cards. We're going to shuffle them. You get to pick 3 cards.
Okay.
Each card is linked to a question that we have pulled up right here. We'll read off all the questions. You get to choose which question you want to answer, and you get to choose which answer you want from AJ and I. So here we go.
You guys are like magicians. Scared.
Beautiful.
card, any card.
Pick a card, any card.
I was gonna say, I'm a little bit like.
Pick a card, any card. Go ahead. Bing, bang, bop. Boom, bang, bing. Ting, tang, tong.
Wait, I wanted that one.
You need one more?
Brrrah. Brrrah.
Uh-huh. Aw, I have
Okay.
a J heart.
J Hart.
Okay.
6 of club.
We'll do one at a time. We'll do
Oh.
one at a time. J. Okay.
Tell me to
Jack of
shut up
hearts.
next time.
What's the most beautiful form of love you've witnessed?
Whoa.
Okay. What's next?
6 of clubs.
6 of clubs. Who would be your dream collaborator?
Collaborator. Okay.
Mhm.
And then
4 of hearts.
4 of hearts. 4 of hearts. What's the most unexpected way you've experienced love? So you pick your favorite to answer of those 3, and then you give us the other 2. So recap. The questions are the most beautiful form of love you've witnessed, your dream collaborator, and an unexpected form of love you've experienced.
Choose wisely.
The pressure is getting worse. Can I give you guys your?
Yeah,
Can
you
you
can
guys
do that.
answer first, or do
Sure,
you want
we
me
can
to
go
answer
first.
Yeah.
Okay. The dream collaborator, I'm giving that to AJ.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Yeah. And then, what were the last 2? Is most special form of love? And
The most beautiful form of love you've witnessed,
I've
and
witnessed.
an unexpected way you've experienced love.
Yeah.
Unexpected way.
Yeah.
Okay, most beautiful form of love you've witnessed, Jacob. That
Me?
one's for you.
Jacob, you go
Okay.
first.
Damn. Okay.
You
Wait, you go first. He has to think about love first.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, go first.
My dream collaborator. That's a good question.
There's a lot of good ones.
There's a lot of good ones. My
shoot.
dream collaborator is AJ.
Aww.
All
Well, your
right,
dreams are
carry
gonna come
on.
true today.
Carry
Oh.
on, carry on.
I feel like I've had similar questions on like what I look for in a collaborator, or like
Mm.
I might have answered this before actually. I don't know what I said last time. Wait, hold on. I kind of got to sneeze.
Bless you. That's his brain working.
This is where my mind goes. My mind goes to. I really love the idea of being in a band, like being in a collective where everybody has ongoing solo projects and we come together and do stuff together.
Kind of like dinner party.
Yeah, like dinner. Yeah, like the super group kind of. I don't know if it would be a super group, but like
the Robert and the Kamazi and the Terrence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I love that where being in a group where we can all feed off of each other, but then everyone has their own individual outlets. That's not really I feel like people want me to say a name. That feels like what I have to do.
There's no right or wrong answer, I feel like. I don't know, you guys made the rules. These are your
Dream
cards.
collaborator.
Is there a right
I would
or
love
wrong
to make
answer?
I would love to make some music with 454.
Mm.
I would love to make some music
Real
with
Florida sheet.
I would love to make some music with They Hate Change.
That would be
I would
cool.
love to. Which that's like we're in the same city, so it's like kind of
You hear
reasonable.
that? He's coming for you.
But we'll make some music. We'll make some music. Who else? I would love to. Not even a collaboration. I would love to just have a conversation with Esperanza Spalding. And like she's heading the music department at Harvard right now, and I've seen some of her lectures, and she just her perspective on things, and like just the idea that music is this thing that we're kind of obliged to do because of the joy that comes of it and the community that comes of it and the expression that comes of it. Like it's like it's a thing that's with us on this earth that we share with each other.
That was beautiful.
Let me think. I think that's about it. Oh, Mavi. I would love to.
Good one.
Mavi is somebody I would love to make music with and also just have a conversation with.
Good one.
I also found out recently we have the same birthday.
No way.
Yeah.
Libras
Oh,
rise.
same day.
October 7th.
Same month, same day, same year.
No
Yeah.
way.
So, what's up,
That's
twin?
so cool.
What's up, twin?
What's up,
Oh,
twin? Let's make
wow.
a song. Come on the pod.
Isn't that awesome? Two
Um,
geniuses. I think
Aw.
that's really cool.
So yeah,
That is
that's
cool.
Awesome.
that's my answer.
Wow.
Nice. I forgot what my question was. Which one was it?
The most beautiful form
The most
of love.
beautiful.
I think yours was the most beautiful form of love you've witnessed.
Okay, the most beautiful form of love I've witnessed. It's kind of a multi-parter, but I'll kind of summarize it all together. And here's some context. So recently, I had a bunch of my family in town, and we had like a little reunion thing. And this part of my family lives kind of all over the country, so we don't get to see each other all together in one place very often. So like having that reunion was really great because not only was I just kind of like struggling at that time, so it was just like really nice to recharge and just like be around a bunch of people that I love a lot. But also it was like one of the first times that we've gotten together all as a family where I was like part of the adults. Because me and my
Graduated.
my sister and I, we were always like the youngest in the family, but now, you know, we're all grown up, and my cousins, they like, you know, are like in really long-term relationships or married and have kids. So now I have like little nieces and nephews running around. So like now we're part of the adult club, and it was really great because there's just so many. I just felt really thankful at that time because there was so many, or it didn't hit me how many like special relationships that I have in my family that like are good models for what I would want in love for me. Like just like seeing my cousin Rolandito with his wife Lauren, like they just like have a hoot together. They're just like best friends. And I can say the same thing about my parents too. They're just like best friends. They're always just like laughing, having a good time together. And I don't know, just like seeing that in that time, I was like, wow, this is like really, really special and really beautiful. So that's probably like my answer. The different family relationships that I have where it's just like really, really good examples of like what love could be.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Boys.
That was me.
I feel like I'm interviewing you.
That's
All right,
beautiful.
gay son or thought daughter?
You asked this the last time.
I'm kidding. Jeez. What was my question again?
Baker daughter.
Baker daughter or Baker act? Never mind. Cut that. You know what, Jacob? When you're editing, cut that out. That wasn't even funny.
An unexpected form of love
Yeah, the most unexpected.
that you've experienced.
The most unexpected form of love that I've experienced. Okay. So I think that for a long time in my life, love was something that, you know, obviously the basic answer is your family, right? Your family and your friends. Those are the people that you seek love from, that you give love to. I think throughout my life and my experiences with my family, just like, you know, religious stuff, not really seeing them as much. I think that my idea of love was always really conditional. So the condition being like, you need to act accordingly, you need to praise this particular God, you need to, look like this and act like this and talk like this. And that was where your source of love was coming from. It was from performance. And so I think for me, growing up in an environment that was kind of like that, finding love in other places was my sort of my bread and butter to stay afloat and stay alive. And I think that finding love in just the world and observing love, knowing that it's there and it's present, and then also finding love inside of myself and also loving myself more. I think that for so long I've searched for love in other places that haven't even served me as much. But the love that you give yourself can be the most unconditional if you allow for it to be. And I think that that's where you learn really the grace that you give yourself. So I think that more recently too, the love I've given myself has been the most beautiful and so unexpected, because of as I was growing up, I was kind of taught to like be very hypercritical of who I was and what I believed in. And I think when you find love in yourself, you see love in unexpected places. You see it in animals and in babies and in, when you go outside, feel the sun, that can feel like love, And I think that when you put those goggles on, those like rose-colored goggles on life, then you find love everywhere. So I think starting with myself, it kind of trickles on to, everyone else. It's like the overflow of love, and I think that you can be that and you can find that and you can find it in unexpected places. So that's my answer.
That was beautiful.
Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, I can say smart things. I can be vulnerable.
That was awesome. That was so awesome.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's interesting, the idea of like somebody withholding love until some condition.
Yeah, I think that people withhold a lot for a specific condition.
Yeah.
I think people are never truly satisfied. I think people withhold happiness from themselves until X, Y, and Z, happens. I've felt this a lot in my life where, I tell myself like, okay, I'll be happy when I have this, and I'll be happy when I have this, and when I, get this job, or when I get this relationship, or when I make this friend, I'll be happy. When I move out, I'll be happy. When I go to school, I'll be happy. It wasn't until I realized joy is something to be attained every day, not for when everything is perfect. Every day you have to strive to find joy and find things that make you happy. Because I've existed in this like limbo of condition of like, I can only have this if I do this, when in actuality you just make it so. You make it reality. Obviously there's things out of your control. We won't really get into that right now, but I think people withhold them a lot from themselves. They're not as liberated as they want to believe,
They don't just make focaccia on a Tuesday.
They don't just make focaccia on a Tuesday and bring it to their friends. The concept of free will is like lost in us, to be honest. Speaking of focaccia,
Yeah.
I brought you guys a present.
Hell yeah.
Woo! So I did bake this focaccia myself.
Tell us about it.
So focaccia is a type of bread. It's made by like has these little dimples and these little air bubbles. It's very simple. It does not require so much hands-on work, which is why it's really easy for beginners. But I made it last night. I prepped it last night, and then I baked it this morning. It is a rosemary garlic focaccia, and it has some Parmesan on it. And I baked it this morning for you guys to try it.
Fuck, I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
I'm
Are you gonna
handing
have
it
a
to you.
piece too?
I have a little piece. It just
Here,
it
take
kind
your
of
piece first.
it's very garlicky. You guys
Ooh, it smells good.
It
do
smells
with that
delish.
what you will. I'll take this piece. I'm gonna take this one.
All right, bud. Enjoy. I'm gonna
Take
take
yours.
I'm gonna take this guy.
Cheers.
Cheers, you
Cheers,
guys.
friends and family.
Hope you enjoy it. Okay, they ready for this ASMR? I didn't want to bite it.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's that shit.
We'll be back after a short break.
Right.
This is love right here.
This is love. Now, this is the most unexpected form of love.
And we're back.
And we're back.
That was so good. What'd you guys think of the focaccia? Well, you guys have tried everything I've ever made, I think.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, everything I've ever made. So where does that fall?
That's up there.
It's one of
Yeah?
my, it's one of my faves.
Yeah, I've had some really good focaccia out there, but that topped a lot of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rosemary, garlic, parmesan, fantastic. Fantastic.
I think savory wise, I am thinking of like some kind of balsamic glazed Danish.
Oh yes, I made that.
That was
for my
good.
birthday. The onion and balsamic
Yes.
one. Yes.
But other than
was
that, this is the highest. Savory.
good.
Yeah.
Well,
Sweet-
savory, you don't have much to choose from.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sweet is still definitely the matcha. Definitely the greenies.
The greenies.
Yeah, that one's a good
That
one.
one's a banger. That one's a classic.
What else? I think you do the classics well though. Like I think a chocolate chip you do very well.
Mm-hmm. That
You
brown
know.
butter chocolate chip cookie is, oh my goodness, bro. I dream about that cookie.
Yeah, I think your fundamentals are also A.
Well, guess what, guys? I'm just gonna keep getting better and better. I think all of the things that I've tried to do more recently have been way more successful only because I have I think I've like really done my research on like base knowledge of different types of cookies and danishes that at this point I'm just like building on top of what I already know. So it just kind of, now I get to have fun and be creative because I have the techniques pretty much down. So like when it comes to flavors and textures, I think I'm having a lot of fun playing around with that. So
It's beautiful.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
All right, Jazzy. So
Hey.
tell us, we just had some of your signature focaccia, and it was awesome.
Okay.
But tell us more about Jazz Cafe.
Jazz Cafe. Well, Jazz Cafe started as a fun little thing that I did for my birthday. I worked at bleep that out. I worked at undisclosed coffee location for for like 3.5 years or so. And that taught me a lot about coffee for sure. About flavor combinations, about getting kind of like creative with the flavors that you combine. So I left that job. I now work somewhere else that's a little bit more aligned with my, future career goals. And I just kind of missed making coffee for people. When you get down to it, although, where I worked was a really big corporation, the act of making a cup of coffee for someone, that means a lot to people. People, when they get a cup of coffee made for them, that means a lot. That's why people don't make it at home most of the time. They want to get something good, and they want someone to make it for them. And I think that act is love, right? You nurture people through the things that you give them, and I think that nurturing is a big part of love. We'll get into that later. But anyways, so I missed the act of making someone a cup of coffee and then being like, oh my god, this is the best cup of coffee of my life. And I'm like, you mean that for real? And so for my birthday, I was like, you know what, I kind of want that feeling, especially with the amount of friends that I had gained over the last year of living in Tampa. I was like, I want to share this experience with them. So I invited all my friends over, and we had a jazz cafe, and I baked pretty much everything. I baked danishes and cookies and muffins and greenies, blondies, whatever. I just baked like 3-4 different types of danishes. It was a lot of fun for me, and it's mostly fun to observe people eating the food that I prepare for them. I think that is one of like and listen, something about that feminine, like it's something. I'm not gonna lie, this shit is deeply ingrained in my psyche. I'm like, yes, I'm going to cook and you're going to like it. There's something deep ingrained in me. But anyways, that is one of my favorite feelings. So Jazz Cafe was birthed from that idea of I just want to like nourish people's bodies and their souls and be able to spread that love and that joy in that way. And then every time I would like bring pastries over to my friends, they'd be like, Jazz Cafe pop-up. It's a Jazz Cafe pop-up. And it kind of became like somewhat of like a little jokey joke of just like whenever I would like bake anything, it's like, oh, this is Jazz Cafe in motion. And then I don't know what possessed me. I had a really long conversation with my friend Leah. That's what it was. Me and Leah. Shout out to Leah. Leah Ivelisse. I love you so much. We had breakfast at Bandit Coffee, and we sat there for like hours and hours just talking about things we wanted to do, things that we were interested in. Not necessarily even goals and dreams, but just like fixations and hobbies and what we, want to do with them. And I always kind of had like a aversion to creating for consumption in a way, not in like a literal like food way, but like I mean like creating for profit or for attention or something like that.
Commoditizing something.
Exactly. Yeah. I just kind of liked to do things for people. I didn't really want to put like a label on it or make it so grand and such a big deal. And I think part of that also just that kind of stems from like an insecurity of like, what if people don't like it? So it's like, if I'm not like selling it, or if I'm not like trying to do something, then I guess it doesn't matter. People have a lot more opinions on things that they have to buy than things that they get for free. And I think that conversation with her really opened my mind up to a lot of just like, I feel like I'm kind of holding myself back from doing things that I enjoy just from like fear. And God, fear, what a I hate that. Anyways. But yeah, so we talked about it and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to drop a cute little menu and then we'll see what happens. And then it was things that I had made before, things that I was comfortable doing. And, this was like in January. So then when February came around, or this was in January that I had this idea. And then I decided to do something for Valentine's Day. And that was kind of like the first Jazz Cafe launch, first drop, first concept. And yeah, I just kind of stuck with it, even though I was like kind of shy with it. And then it kind of took off. I sold out all of my boxes, with little to no like publicizing, just because it was like word of mouth. I feel like, when you bake for friends, you got some pretty good advertisers. And then, yeah, we did a little Jazz Cafe tasting. That was so much fun. And I think Jazz Cafe as a concept, not so much just the the baking, but just as the concept, I think is really cool. It's something that like really I think represents who I am. And with the food and the baking and the treats, that's also really important to me. So I'm just so happy everyone's enjoyed it. I've gotten nothing but good feedback, and I hope you guys aren't greasing me or anything, because it's really getting to my head. So if you're lying, let me know so that I could stay humble. But right now, I really like it. I really feel like a baker, a real life baker.
Well, I feel like there was a long period where you would like just make so many things and bring them, and people would always be like, "Oh, like I would pay for this," or like I would buy this, and you're like, "Ha ha ha, you're my friend, of course."
Yeah, no, I'm like, of course you have to say that. Like
one
you
day
guys
you're
are my
like, "Wait a
friends.
second, like if I made a lot of these and like took orders."
Yeah, so what happened was for Christmas time, I baked a bunch of cookies for my job, and I work at a hospital, for those of you who don't know. And so lots of nurses, lots of doctors, lots of people who are, straight-headed, just like very goal-oriented people, adults as well. You know how judgmental adults can be. Me, like I'm not fucking 24. Anyways, but yeah, I baked a bunch of cookies. I baked these big boxes. There was 3 different flavors, 6 of each, I think. And I passed them out. I gave one to every unit, and I just put my name on it. And I was like, "Happy Holidays." And I just did that to be nice and do something, because I was working on Christmas Eve and wanted to bring up the spirit, I guess. And I have never received so many people coming to my unit being like, "Jasmine, where did you order these?" I was like, "Oh, I made them." They were like, "You what?" I was like, I made them. I made them with my hands. And they were like, "This is amazing. Like, do you sell these?" And I'm like, "No, I just kind of make them for fun." They're like, "Well, you should sell them because I would buy them." And I was like, "Oh, really? Interesting you say that." And I think hearing it from like outside people who are like very, career driven, logic people, they're like, "You know what? You can actually do this. Like, you should start a shop and like bake these and sell them." That shifted something. I think it was like the older people approval of me. Sorry guys. But like the approval of like the adults, and also like I feel like I've spent a lot of my time with crowds in that age range who would tell me that like the things that I was thinking or wanting to do are a little bit like ridiculous, not as practical, not, really worth it. You should just be an accountant or like a nurse or something like that. And I'm like, "Oh, but I want to be a rock star." Whatever. But them being so supportive healed a part of me in a strange way, like healed like an inner part of my child, where I was like, "You know what? My dreams can be reality." And so I think I went home and I was like, that really like changed my perspective on the whole baking stuff. And yeah, so I'm gonna push it as far as it can take me. I'll exhaust it. I don't care. You guys are gonna keep hearing about Jazz Cafe. Who cares?
Yeah.
I
But,
definitely don't. I definitely want to keep on hearing from Jazz Cafe.
Well, that means a lot to me.
And definitely, I feel like your baking skill is one thing, and the maple glaze gingerbread is unreal.
Oh,
but
yeah?
then it's even the thought you put into curating, like, what is this tasting going to be like, or what is this pop-up going to be like, where, okay, how is it decorated? What's the table layout? What kind of plates are it on? How are they spread out? What kind of music is playing? To where it really ends up being a nice experience that we're not only tasting these things, but you just have a really memorable, enjoyable, nourishing evening at Jazz Cafe.
Before I'm a baker, I'm a vibe curator.
Yeah.
Before I'm a baker, I'm a cultivator of energy.
Big
right?
facts.
I remember like wanting. I forgot. I think I was talking to you, AJ, and I'm like, yeah, like I want to be a DJ and I want to be like this and that, and AJ was like, you're just like a vibe curator, Jasmine. Like I was like, I'm not like a musician. I don't really like do production. It's like you're just a vibe curator. Like you just understand the vibe. Like I'm like, all right, say that one more time. Say that one more time.
Say that in writing.
Gotta get that in writing. As a matter of fact, say it one more time to the camera. But yeah, so that's yeah. Roll it. I don't know which one I'm supposed to be looking at. I've been like going back and forth. Okay, whatever.
Either or.
But yeah, so that's Jazz Cafe, you guys. Support at Cats Are Cooking.
At Cats Are Cooking.
Shout out to the logo. My beautiful friend Julia did it for me. She's so talented. She also did all of these.
And friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod.
Was on earlier, made a song on the mixtape and everything. So
She's
shout out to Julia.
amazing. Shout out to her. But yeah, man.
That's your mixtape mate there. Y'all are both gonna be on it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, God, that's so exciting. Oh my God, that's like so exciting. Also, you guys, all right, it's my podcast now. It's my podcast now. You guys, I'm just in such awe of both of you and where the podcast started. I mean, from like season 1, it was like obviously a lot of fun and like we all really enjoyed it. But then like to the podcast, to the mixtape, to this, the first volume was amazing. The second volume, I get all the sneak peeks, haha, but the second volume sounds so good. And I feel like you found such a niche that was so natural for the both of you. And like, how do you guys feel about the pod and like the mixtape and how successful it's been? Because I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, my friends are so cool.
Thank you, Jazzy. I love you.
Successful it's been? I think the biggest success has been just like finding kind of a specific niche.
Yeah.
And the friends you make along the way.
Right. And honing your skills for sure.
As far as like measurable success, I don't know. I think I'm thinking long term. I feel like we talk a lot about like how can we do this in a way where we can do it for a really long time.
Right.
You know, so like after this episode, we're gonna take a break for about a month.
Right. That makes sense.
Just because we have those breaks built in. But no, it's been awesome to see the evolution of it, and I kind of learned from this process of finding the format of this show that you have to just do something before you even know what it is. You know, because we and like
a leap of faith.
we had Asia
Yeah.
yesterday, and we were talking about the early episodes where it was just us talking, and that's surprising to people because they see how organized the format is now. That they're like, oh, you just started as like two dudes talking about how your week was.
Yeah.
You know, but like, not to say that you should go back and watch those episodes, but like we had to make those episodes to make these episodes.
Of course, everyone
know.
started somewhere. And I think that like your conversation skills have gotten better. At least just even from like my episode last year. I feel like you guys are so invested in the person, and you're so interested in like what you can create together with the songs and stuff. And I feel like it really hones in on the idea of community and just humanity and just creativity. And I think that's what you guys really stand for. So it's awesome. Yay!
Thank
Chang
you.
Hop.
Yeah,
Editing Jacob, cue like applause noise.
I'll put in some applause noise here, maybe.
Please, that would sound really stupid if you did it.
I just put booze. Boo. Nah, I feel really good about the podcast. Just like AJ said, like I think it's been very gratifying to find this niche of ours, and exactly like it just felt so natural for both of us, and it kind of just felt like we stumbled upon this niche that we really enjoy doing, and people seem to really enjoy as well. And yeah, along with all of the other like skills and stack of evidence that we have acquired from doing this for over a year now at this point, where it's like conversation skills have gotten better, just general organization has gotten better, the whole recording process, the editing process, like all of it has just been, you know, slowly getting refined and better. And just like now it's like I don't even think about the whole it's just kind of like automatic now, which has been really cool to see like in myself and seeing AJ as well. But then yeah, I definitely think the most fun part of it is just like this right here, like this dynamic, just sitting down in front of some cameras, in front of some mics with someone, and just like talking and having a good conversation, and just like leaving it at that. And we've said a few times too, where it's like, even if like we did a podcast like this and there was like some fatal malfunction where all the cameras died, and
Like my battery's dying right now.
and everything, like if there was some thing, like it would still be worth it just for the conversation. Like yeah, we didn't get a podcast out of it, or like maybe it like messed up the episode or something, right? But I don't even care, because we had a great conversation, and then also presumably we made a cool song too. So yeah, that's how I feel about the podcast. It's been really, really fun. I really enjoy it. We've only been getting like such good feedback on it, and I don't know if I've said this publicly on the podcast, but I just like have and I think this is a general feeling that a lot of people have right now, where like we're coming up on a big turning point, where like there's just this energy in the air, no matter what you're doing, if it's like creative or professional or educational, where just like this big shift is coming, this big change is coming, and that's like really exciting. It's a little terrifying too, but it's also very exciting. And I think we're about to reach new heights that we never even expected.
I can't wait.
Wow, that's scary. I kind of hope we don't.
No,
I like this. I like just the slow.
I think that
build.
your momentum is definitely building, and I can feel what Jacob is saying. Like I think that you guys are gonna really start, especially with this new mixtape and all of the star-studded guests that you guys have. I think that it's gonna be something that people not only are impressed by, but are interested in, intrigued by. Yeah, but I'm excited for where it takes you guys. Hopefully I'll get you on the next one. Get you in a couple pods.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this listening party.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my God, girl.
Listening party, Bananas
Too.
Records in St. Petersburg, Florida, March 28th at 7 p.m. Be there or be square. You can hear all of the new music on the new mixtape. You can hear the bonus tracks, I think.
Yeah.
You will be able to buy a CD if you don't pre-order it.
You should pre-order though.
You should pre-order the
if
CD.
you have any interest in anything we're doing, it just It goes a long way.
Please.
Pre-order,
Goes a long way.
changhoff.com/pre-order to get that. But if not, come to the listening party, buy a CD while you're there, have a good time, and then also look forward to the after party at the Benz afterwards.
Wait, that's not.
That's not a thing?
No.
Cut the cameras.
That's not a thing? I thought we were doing that.
That was an idea like 3 months ago, but no.
But it never actually
Cut the
became a thing?
cameras. Cut the cameras.
Oh, I thought it was actually a thing.
I think I might just DJ up bananas.
Okay. Hell yeah. You know
Because
what? Hell
there's
yeah.
gonna be. I think there are gonna be a lot of people. So for it to get to a certain point where there's like all these people and then be like, okay, let's go to another place.
Yeah,
No, I
you're
feel
gonna
like we'll
you're
lose
gonna you're gonna lose a couple in the
See, though.
process.
But anyway, yeah, can snip that.
So Jasmine, before we stray too far, I want to still kind of touch on Jazz Cafe because we have a little idea. I don't know if you want to tell the people.
Yeah, y'all are cooking.
I don't want to know.
We're-
These
I don't
cats
know
are
if you
cooking.
want to
These
tell the
cats are
people,
cooking.
but if you don't mind, tell us about this new idea for Jazz Cafe.
So my gracious friend Jacob decided that it would be a fun idea to do a little baking show with moi, where I kind of can teach you guys some of my favorite recipes. And yeah, one thing about me, I love cooking shows. I grew up with no TV pretty much. The only channels I had were the news, TLC, and Food Network, and I would watch Food Network religiously every day when I came home from school. That was my favorite thing to do. I'm born for this. I'm in my kitchen now, okay, I'm gonna add 500 grams of flour. No one is there. It's just me. I'll be like, oh my god, do you see the sizzle on that?
It's true. I witnessed this last night because we were on FaceTime, and literally she just pulls out this thing of bread. Here's the bread flour. I'm gonna add 500 grams. I just got this scale.
It's exciting to me, and I feel like that would be such a cool full circle moment in my little Jasmine childhood heart. I feel like that's really exciting. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. We're gonna film next week. Yeah,
We are.
next week.
Yeah.
Wait, I love that. That's such a cool thing too. Of the moment we're in where everybody can kind of make their own show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we have the tools in our pockets.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah. Wait, I'm excited for that.
I hope
Yeah.
you are. I hope everyone is. I think it's gonna be fun.
I think it's gonna be a great
good.
time. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But
So-
can we talk about something else? So I know whatever the podcast, a year growth, beautiful. But the year of growth between us, you guys, look at that. I think the podcast last year was the first time I had ever met Jacob.
Yeah.
And I think that our relationships have just been we've just skyrocketed since then. I feel so eternally grateful to know you guys and to meet you guys.
Aw.
And a year later, still going strong. I'm really, really messing with that. How do you guys feel about me a year later? This is actually a test. If you fail, I'm lighting this whole place on fire.
Over the course of 1 year knowing you, it's
Sorry,
been
I trapped you guys.
It's been great. No,
All right,
honestly,
yearly review.
one of the
You need this. It's my Changhoff wrapped.
one of
You
the,
yapped for.
one of the best, most unexpected but healing friendships and relationships that I've had in a really long time. And I think from the first time that we met, just kind of instantly, all three of us, but I'll speak on our relationship has been really locked in. I just think that we both came at a time where we were just very open to meeting new people, meeting new friends, and I think our personalities just kind of matched up a lot in terms of we like to talk about deep things, and we like to just hang around and do fun stuff and just be silly and vulnerable and open with our friends. And so I think that we really just really connected on that aspect of both of our personalities. And yeah, it's been really great because I think before all meeting you and then meeting the rest of our friend group who I cherish greatly, I didn't really have all that many friends here in Tampa, because I had like moved away for a few years and then came back, and a lot of those friends either moved or moved on. We moved on from each other. And so it just felt like meeting you and then meeting the rest of the friend group was just like so critical, so crucial for me at that time, because I didn't realize how like lonely I was. Like I had AJ and I have my friend Nick, like I had a couple friends here still, but like coming in and meeting you and the rest of the gang just like was like, wow, like it's so nice to have friends. Like it's so nice to have a community around you where you feel like everyone supports each other and wants the best for each other. But then specifically like our relationship, I think, is really great because we have a very close relationship that I think doesn't happen very often. And yeah, I just love you, Jazzy.
Oh, I love you too.
AJ, your turn.
Moving on.
I just want to say on that, like I remember when we all met for the first time, like Jacob's somebody I've known for a long time, and Jasmine had somebody that I was like was getting close to at that time. And I remember y'all meeting, and I'm being like, oh, I really hope they get along, because like, if they don't get along, I don't know how I'm gonna.
This shit gonna be real awkward for you, my boy.
But no, it was cool, and I remember like having conversations, and Jasmine would ask certain questions where I would hear Jacob say something, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know you thought that, or like, oh, I didn't. But I thought it was a really cool moment of like seeing somebody meet someone new, and it kind of see them in a new light. And it gives you this like fresh mirror of it gives you like a new way to see yourself. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. Well, because I moved back to Tampa, I guess like a little over a year ago, and I got back, and there was a long period of just like hanging with family, and like I had some friends from high school, and I started going out and kind of meeting people, and I think Jasmine was one of the first people that I met that I like. It was just a brand new person that it wasn't like a friend of a friend or like somebody I recognized through
random girl at Spot.
It was just like a random
shaking her head at a Pilot Jones concert.
But no, it was really cool. Like I really enjoy getting to know somebody new, and like kind of the same thing, like having that fresh perspective. And it kind of gave me a hope and an excitement about like, oh yeah, like people just move here. Like there's just all these people here. Like I wonder who else is here. Now. Yeah, and it made me really excited to just keep going out and seeing who was out there. And I don't know. Wait, what was the question?
It was kind of like how y'all feeling.
Just looking back.
It's the Jasmine check, like not a vibe. The Jasmine check. Like y'all still fuck with me Friday. Y'all still fucking with me. Like.
Good morning, happy Friday. Y'all still fucking with me.
Y'all fuck with me for real.
Yeah, we're fucking with Jasmine on the show.
Period.
I just feel like the best way that I can describe our relationship is like every time that like we hang out, it's just like a breath of fresh air. It's like, oh, I really needed this. I really needed this. I didn't even realize
we needed this.
I just needed some Jasmine time, some friendship.
Yeah, I think the funniest thing about me and Jacob's relationship is every FaceTime call, we can go through like the full scale of like human emotion in like 30 minutes, like mad, angry, sad, in love, in debt, just like in grieving, just neutral, existential crisis, and it's like, all right, love you, bye. Just hang up. But yeah, no, you guys mean a lot to me, and my life has changed forever now that I know you. Even if
same.
What did Faye Webster say? At the end of her song, I Know You. When we're old and have to leave this earth, I'll still remember all I've learned from you. Aww. Yeah. They love that. They loved it. They loved that. But yeah, no, super awesome to be back on the pod with new insight, new perspectives. Yeah. Not as nervous, because last year I was like, yeah, I mean, shit. Like, oh my God. Like, I didn't know what I was saying. I just wanted to sound really cool in front of you guys. But I remember, now, you guys just know that I'm not cool, so it's cool. I love it.
The last one.
My fucking Snoopy.
You had a segment where you were like, yeah, the Snoopy songs.
The Peanuts. The peanut bright socks, if you guys are wondering. Got them from Target.
I remember you were like giving your advice on making new friends.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause you were talking about how you had just made a lot of new friends, and
Yeah.
you were kind of spitting. You were giving the audience some
Pointers.
advice.
Yeah, guys.
Do you have any updates? Do you have any?
Well, it went well. I think.
How's the making friends going?
No, it's gone pretty well. I think like the main idea that I was getting a year ago was, kind of what you were referring to as well, Jacob, is when you meet people and they're in a transitional part of their life, they are more open to having new relationships. Where I feel like sometimes when people have been in a spot for years and years, they kind of have their people. They're not always open to being buddy-buddy with new people, or they're just they're not yearning for it as hard as you are. So I think finding these people, and I think just like our age too kind of helps. But thinking about it, a lot of the people that are in our lives right now, they're not from Florida. They've moved from different states. They're in school. They're figuring things out. Maybe moving back, just in a phase of their life where they're kind of like arms open, not even arms open. It happens when you're not expecting it, actually. And I think that that's something I've been thinking about a lot, is the way that kind of love has is very fluid in a way. Whereas, through heartbreak and loss, you like mourn that love that you had with that person. But in actuality, that love is released and it does come back to you. And I think I've never felt, at least in my more of like in my adult life, having this new perspective, I've never lacked love. It just kind of has shown up in other places in my life, So I think that the love that I'm finding with my friends is part of that idea of like, the love that I've not necessarily lost, but I don't really have tangible anymore from my friendships in Miami or in Orlando or in other places that I've lived. It's kind of transformed into this new love in my friendships now. So I think having that idea, and a lot of it is patience, the right people are going to find you, especially when you need it. I think it's always unexpected, but it's always beautiful. But yeah, it's been going really well. The friend making has been going really well. Still being open, still being interested, being present, and being curious with people. I think that's the number one way to make friends. It's not always about wanting people to be, interested in what you got going on. Sometimes you have to break that bubble and that barrier and be interested in what other people have going on. I think seeing it outside of yourself, the love that exists in others. What was the question? Did I answer it?
You said something about it's easier to meet people in like transitional phases or transitional states.
Yes.
And I think in a way Florida is very much a transitional state.
Yeah. Honestly,
absolutely.
People that come and go every year, they spend their little bit here and then they go back. You got a lot of people that move here.
Mm-hmm.
You've got hurricanes that wipe away a lot of stuff and we
Yeah.
rebuild. It feels like a very transition
Shout
heavy.
out Florida, zoom in
Yeah.
on the necklace.
Hey.
On my necklace. I have a very love-hate relationship with Florida for obvious reasons. I think we don't have to get political
we don't
on
have
the
to.
pod. We don't gotta talk about
We don't
that.
have to get into the hate reasons.
Yeah.
They're known.
But Florida, I think, has spoiled me in ways that can never be satisfied by another state. The climate. I'm not a cold weather person. I've never been. I'm from Miami, Florida. The coldest it gets is like 65 degrees,
And we're still complaining about it.
And I'm still just like tu suerita. Like, I'm bundled up. Like, you see me with the scarf, mind your business. I don't care. But yeah, I think that there's something here, like kind of what you're saying, the transition. You meet so many people here. So many people start new lives here, especially from Miami. Like, so many people from different countries, Venezuela and Cuba and Mexico, like all of the culture that's there. It creates something so beautiful. I love my hometown. Like, and I'll say it again and again. But it creates something so beautiful, just the humanity that bleeds in the cracks of the sidewalks and just everything there. You feel like it feels like home. I don't know. That's probably just very biased
That was
opinion.
a bar. Bro said the humanity that bleeds through the sidewalk. What the fuck?
No, but I genuinely think that Miami is one of the most interesting places, especially, I mean, in Florida, yes, and in the whole world, probably not. But for me, it has such a, it's just like every time I go back, it's not always the same visually, physically, obviously. There's a lot of things that have been changing. Gentrification is very high. Mass deportations have definitely had a big impact on the community. But still, the persistence of the people and the resilience and the ways that people still find joy in all of the sorrow and all of the turmoil, all of the anxiety that's going on, that to me is the true heartbeat of Homestead, Florida, of Miami, Florida, the resilience of the people. I mean, they've been kicked out and pushed and shoved and thrown into so many different, situations. And then this one certainly isn't going to be the thing that breaks them either. So I think that where there is so much anxiety, so much uncertainty, there is also so much joy in the basic things of creating, of making music, of playing music, of dancing, of making food, and of sharing things, block parties, and just the humanity. That's what it is, and that's what that means to me. When I say humanity bleeds through the sidewalks, it's like, even though there can be so much pain in the world, when I walk onto a specific street, the one that my grandma lives on, I know that it's going to feel the same every time,
I love that too, of like celebration as resistance.
Mm-hmm.
We're still gonna have this party, we're still gonna make this food, we're gonna play this music.
Yeah. I think that's it's beautiful.
Because we can and we will.
Yeah, because who's going to stop us? Well, they can try, but really there's a joy that's so ingrained in sharing and in culture and in family that people can try to make us ashamed of that part of ourselves, of where we came from, but ultimately can't stop it. The resilience of people it's so deeply buried. It's like it's just evolution, survival of the fittest, and that's what it takes to survive sometimes, is that resistance, is that finding the love and finding the joy, finding the peace in the chaos. That is the true nature of humanity, is that silver lining. But it takes work. It takes effort.
Yeah.
It takes, because it's not necessarily just like a blissful ignorance to the problems. It is facing the problems, choosing to not let them tarnish your being or corrode your soul. Making that decision. That's hard. Not even making the decision, but to follow through with it. It can be hard. But it's possible, That's what I gotta say.
Beautiful.
Wow, what a turning point in the pod.
Yeah, no, that's real though. And like, you just gotta find a way to show up every day and do the work that you can towards your values, towards what we believe in, which, I mean, in a way that you can continue to do it, because nobody wants you, but nobody wants you doing work and burning yourself or hurting yourself, but whatever way we can all kind of,
although there sorry I didn't want to cut you off. Although there are other forms of resistance, and sometimes I don't hate, okay, my bad, sometimes the sentiment of like love is resistance, that can kind of drag on to me, because yes, love can be resistance in a place where love is so feared. However, there is way more that you can do. I won't get into that on
Why
the
not?
pod.
Like baking cookies.
I won't get into that in the pod. Actually, you know what? Here, this is what I will say. Resistance is not just about, choosing to be happy despite it all, although that is part of resistance. But resistance is also going into your communities. Resistance is uplifting your communities. It's volunteering. It's helping build bridges and helping serve food to homeless people. It's reading to children. It's doing a beach cleanup. It's, helping your neighbors. It's starting a community fridge or community garden. It's using your time and your resources and your privileges that you may have in your life to uplift your community. because everyone, especially in America, in this society, everyone's so concerned with what is going on in their brains and their lives and their work and their job and their school and themselves. We fail to see how much just our being can impact other people simply by putting in energy and work. You know, you can be one person to change someone's entire day, right? Someone's entire life. And I used to take that sentiment and kind of like wipe my ass with it, because as much as I want to believe that, I'm always kind of like, oh yeah, whatever, like, you know, cliche, bada bing, bada boom. It wasn't until I started working where I work now that I realized the weight and the gravity that one person can have on a situation and on another person. Simply by taking the time and having the patience and having the empathy and having the curiosity and having the presence. But yeah, we are so much more powerful than I think anyone wants us to believe. And I think that the people are just not unified enough to make any real change at the moment. But that can change in the future. But I think part of that starts with the community that you're in. You know, your neighbors, your city, your town, you know, finding that humanity in you, or finding the humanity here makes it a lot stronger. I think that's why, part of why Miami, at least where, like my hometown, I think that's why it feels so strong. And that era of resistance, of celebration is still in the air because of the strength of the relationships that they have. But that's what I'll say about resistance. It's not just about spreading love, but using your time and being smart about it.
And I want to ask this question. I usually ask it later on in the podcast, but since we were talking about like resistance and love being a form of resistance, what role does love play in your life?
What role does love play in my life? Love is the most important thing in my life. Love is the reason why, you know, I exist. It's the reason why everything that you love exists. It's, Robert Glasper said something. He said, love is, what did he say? AJ, do you know? Love is God's signature on all of its creations. Wow. That's what Robert Glasper said. And I think that love is, I don't know, it drives you. I mean, it can kill you. It can cause the full range of human emotion, right? Just love. What was the question again?
What role does love play in your life?
What role does it play in my life? I mean, it's the fire inside of me. It's what drives me, I feel like, to do a lot of things, to care for people. Everything that I do, I try to do it with love, you know, and the work that I do with mental health, love is a very big part of it. You have to love what you do to deal with the things that you have to deal with, you know. You have to truly love, not even a specific person, but just love people in general. To be able to sit there and understand them and build bridges with them, you have to understand the love that is in other people, even when it feels like it's so buried deep inside. You have to be able to unlock that. And the ways that you do it, I mean, everyone's approach is different. From me, sitting there, patience, understanding, curiosity, you know, truly listening. I think people don't get that time enough with others, you know, the time of just being able to truly sit there and be present with others. But yeah, love is a very important thing in my life. It always finds me when I need it. It's always fueled me when, you know, nothing else has. When I feel depleted, I think love is very important. Not just romantic love, obviously. Love is everywhere. We kind of talked about this earlier, you know. Love is in a baby's laugh and a whatever, and the rustles of the wind and the leaves and the trees. But yeah, I think that love is one of the biggest things that fuels me in my life, for sure.
And don't forget, www.jazzcafe.love.
.love.
That is my domain, www.jazzcafe.love, because love is in everything that I do. Also was the only thing available.
Okay, so speaking of love, there's one thing that I know that you love a lot that we haven't touched on yet that I would like to, which is music.
Mm-hmm.
And I know music is a very big part of your lives, as is ours.
Yes.
And
yes,
so,
yes.
you know, you're about to make a song at the end of this podcast. It's going to be on the mixtape on the 28th. And
guys.
but just tell us more about what music means to you in your life and kind of like your journey through it, because now you're about to make a song. I know you've done some DJing and stuff like that, and I have been able to see your progression as like a music enjoyer and a
But
vibe curator.
You've also heard
And a music maker.
the
Like,
only
what's
song that I've ever like. Well, I don't make music really, you guys. I love music, but I've never been like much of a musician. But I did write a song and I did sing it in front of you.
Yeah, you did.
To Leah.
And it was beautiful.
And that did something to my brain where I was like, oh my God, because I've always been so nervous to actually like, I have a journal full of words with no chords and just kind of no direction. But in my idea, like I said earlier, just creation for the joy of creating, the simple joy of creating, not for other people to consume, just creating. But that, hearing the feedback on that song and the reaction of my friends were like, wait, Jasmine, you could... When did you know? Wait, the whole time?
When did you do this?
The whole time?
The
like,
whole time? You've been just sitting on
you've
this?
just been singing and playing guitar this whole time and you didn't want to tell anybody? And I was like, yeah, man, it's just something that I do in my free time. I remember Sid being like, oh my God, I hate you. All of you. All you guys are so talented. Oh, whatever. Mo was like, I know, right? You guys suck. I was like, my bad. But yeah, so I might actually record that with Leah later today. Oh, 2-song one day. Crazy. I went from having no songs to now having 2 songs. But yeah, I think it's always been like a dream of mine to make music, but I just never felt like I had like the brain for it, you know? But again, that's my inner saboteur. We don't have to talk about that. But back to your question. Music is so important to me. I was actually just talking about this yesterday. So I think that my big introduction to music was not, obviously my family, my parents, my grandparents, loved music, a Hispanic family, especially like my Caribbean side, they're always like tapping on shit and like they got the little bongos and I think that was like really fun. My grandfather, he would have birds in his house. He had birds in his house because he loved the way that they sang. My mom always sang in the house. We grew up with her like just belting out like Selena, among other really random songs, but I won't get into that. But yeah, I think karaoke was like a big part of my life growing up. So music was always a sense of joy, and it was also, music always spoke for you. I remember like something so clear and crisp in my brain. I don't know why. I was probably like 7. My mom was going through a breakup, and she played the Alicia Keys "Sleeping with a Broken Heart," the album that song is on. She played that on repeat, and even now to this day when I'm sad I listen to that album because it carries that sense of, I don't know, like hope for me. But yeah, I would say my first introduction other than my family to music was Disney songs. I'm not a Disney adult, you guys. I won't really claim that. Shout out to the Disney adults though.
But she is a theater kid.
Why did you... I feel like you just outed me. You just told everyone I was gay. Bro,
Cut that.
It's like we sat down at my family table and you were like, so Jasmine...
You're the editor, but you cut it.
It's like we sat down at my family table for dinner and you're like, so Jasmine, are you still gay? Jasmine, you're fruity, right? Bro, that's crazy that you just said that on live television. So Disney was a really big part of growing up, as for most children, I would say, like, Disney movies and, watching the little TV shows and whatnot. But the music in Disney movies has to be definitely like my first step into like a score and what that actually like means and translates into in the actual production. Like, it could just be like a sound, right? But that sound can have so much weight when it's tied in with the visuals. And I think that was like so cool for me. Like growing up, I was like, oh my God, like I really feel this. I can feel the hope. I can feel the tension. I can feel the release. I can feel the anguish. I can feel the grief. And it's just in like a chord progression or, you know, like just music theory is really cool. I mean, shout out to everyone. But I think that was like a really big part of me. And then that's kind of what made me start thinking of, I got really into soundtracks for movies. The Perks of Being a Wallflower was definitely, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that movie, that film, cinema.
Great movie.
But that movie to me did so much for my music taste. That was the first time I ever heard the Smiths. The first time I heard Cocteau Twins. The first time I heard David Bowie. I was like maybe 11 or 12, and that just completely changed my music taste. You know, I would listen to whatever's on the radio, you know, Justin Bieber, One Direction. I was really big into One Direction. You know, I'm just a little girl. And then Existential Dread started. I started listening to the Smiths, and I'm like, oh my God, I was looking for a job that I found a job. Heaven knows I'm miserable now. Like, oh my God, this charming man. And that really, I started getting really into music of that time, like the 80s, you know, the alternative rock of like the 70s, like really loved Joy Division. Really love Cocteau Twins, I mean, to this day. And I think I started listening to music a little more critically at that point, because I was like, whoa, people are really saying things through these songs. And, you know, music has existed for so long. So, like, just going back and seeing all the music from, like, the 70s and the 60s and the 50s, how they all kind of had their own sound, and music from different regions. Like, I love some good, you know, 70s Ethiopian jazz, you know what I'm talking about. He knows what I'm talking about.
Jazzy
But yeah, and I think that music just became this, like, ocean of things that I have yet to explore, but I'm exploring every day. I feel like I hear a new song, like, every day, and on the days I don't hear a new song, I'm quite sad. But, yeah, music is really important to me. It's the soundtrack of my life. It's my sonic diary. I make playlists every month, have been for, like, I don't know how long, but I love to go back and you know, music really is... It's a sonic diary, you know? It's a soundtrack of your life at that particular moment. A song can really bring you back to a feeling, you know? I can remember when I heard a song for the first time and how much it really means to me. And it can be bittersweet, and music can remind you of people. It can remind you of situations that maybe you want to forget. But, you know, when you grow up, it's kind of like it'll be there in your memories because you feel it, you know? Yeah, but yeah, music is really important to me. I love music.
Yeah,
I think music is like, sorry,
You're
one more thing. I think music is the basis for a lot of my relationships, a lot of my friendships. I feel like usually start with an interest in music. And I think that is one of the things that means so much to me. It's not even just like, I don't know, I just feel like my music and my passion for it translates into my friendships. And like a lot of my friends are passionate about music. A lot of them have radio shows. A lot of them are DJs. A lot of them make music. And that makes me so giddy. You know, I'm like curling my toes. Like it makes me so giddy because like then I can support them in something that I love and they love. And it's just like a bridge and it's just beautiful. But yeah, continue, AJ. My bad.
Wait, but that reminded me of a different thing, which is there's this pretty controversial, I think it's a Kurt Cobain quote. Where he says, like, the only people... This is a kind of a controversial thing. But
Trigger warning.
He says the only people that really love music are musicians. Because if you don't care enough to learn how to make music, then, in Kurt Cobain's opinion, you don't care that much.
And then Kurt Cobain's... Oh, I was going to say something really messed up.
Yeah, cut that out. But anyway, I
was gonna say Kurt Cobain is dead, so it doesn't matter. Okay, no, listen, I agree with that.
Well, can I give my take first?
Yeah, go ahead.
And the sentiment, I think that's a harsh way to put it, but I do think there is a kind of a thing where there's a type of person who a big part of their brain is dedicated to music, and you find that manifesting in their life somehow, whether it be playing an instrument or DJing or making a soundtrack of their life every month or yeah, I think there's a kind of personality and a kind of person that you find some way to integrate into your life.
Yeah, but I definitely can feel like you don't really love music unless you're a musician. I can see that. It says take like your love is a verb. Love is a verb. So when you really love something, you want to do something towards that or for that. So I can see that. But yeah, the way that music manifests in other people's lives, it's different. I think music manifests in my life in all aspects of it. I feel like I find music in everything, you know. And the birds chirping and the rustle of the wind and the leaves. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think that
Are you kidding though?
I definitely. I mean,
bird songs are nice.
those bird songs are nice. And I mean, like, you just have to be into it. I feel like there's music all around you all the time. But yeah, I mean, I also have like a bad habit of like, not even a bad habit, but you know, my relationship with being like, I'm not a musician. I'm just someone who plays the guitar. You know, I'm not an artist. I'm just someone that likes to paint. I'm not a baker. I'm just someone that makes bread. You know, you've had this conversation before of kind of like, well, what is a musician? How much can you give? How much do you have to give to be called a musician? You know, if I play a little diddle on the guitar, am I a musician? You know, if I know, like, if I can play a song, am I a musician? You know, what does that mean?
Or
then?
it was like you would say, yeah, one day when I'm a DJ, I'm going to.
Yeah.
And I was like, the decks are here, the speaker is here. Like,
yeah, I'm already playing the
when does that
music.
day? I think that day is now. Like,
Yeah.
whatever that thing you're withholding for when you reach something is like, you don't necessarily need to. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. We all find different ways of.
Our niche.
Yeah, we all find our niche.
Our niche. I love that word.
We all find our niche. What's your niche?
What's your niche?
Leave a comment
Leave
below.
Leave a comment below. Like, subscribe.
Yeah, we got to
Chang
be
Hoff
better
Pod.
at doing those CTAs. If you guys have been enjoying this episode so far,
If you
make sure to drop a like, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button.
If you've
and
ever heard
even
us,
better, hit the notification bell.
Oh
Make
my
it
God.
ring.
if you guys have ever heard a song ever, drop it in the comments. If you ever liked music, tell me the music right now.
Tell me the last song you listened to right now.
I'll wait.
Your rebuttal little too late.
But yeah, no, great question. Thank you, Jacob. I like that. I love talking about music. You know, music is my thing, so
Yeah.
it makes me so cool. It's how I get all my cool friends.
It is quite a passion of yours.
It is.
Yeah, and music is how we're all here.
Yeah.
Because if there wasn't that Pilot Jones show at Spot, you wouldn't have gone. You wouldn't have gone. You guys wouldn't have met. And then I wouldn't have met you. And then.
Wow.
So
know
shout out
what?
to music for bringing
So shout
people
out to
together.
Pilot Jones.
No, shout out to music for real.
Shout out to
Like,
music for real.
We would have met some way, but that was a fun.
you
way.
know, like that. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do, like
The Twilight
sound?
Zone.
Is it the Twilight Zone? No, the do-do-do-do-do-do. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
No.
All right, I'll find it later. But like
Yeah,
so
give
much,
some sound effects.
like you just like connected so many things right now. Oh my God, my brain hurt.
Remember that show? I remember watching Johnny Champagne DJing. And it was like
Yes.
anime fights on a projector, and it's just like drum and bass, like super. I'm just like, whoa,
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah, I think Lily approached me during that Johnny Champagne DJ set. I was jumping.
Yeah.
That was so fire. I loved some jungle. I love
was
some jungle
bouncing.
music.
It was bouncing.
He played Wicked. Jungle is massive. Shout out to that. But yeah.
All right, Jazzy.
Hi.
Something that we've liked to do towards the end of these episodes is ask you to drop a little time capsule. Say a little something to future Jasmine a year from now. What would you want to tell future Jasmine a year from now?
All right, I'm looking at you, future Jasmine. By this time next year, you'll probably have received lots of news, lots of changes, lots of decisions have probably been made. Things that I know right now current Jasmine is waiting on, maybe feeling lots of anxiety about. But I know that whatever has happened in the course of this year, you are, Miss Make It Happen, Miss Resilience. And I'm sure whatever you've been given, you've already turned into lemonade. But me, Jasmine, right now, probably can't even imagine the things that Jasmine then is going through or is probably experiencing. I just know that whatever it is going to be beautiful. And as long as present Jasmine sticks to her plans and commits to her growth, Jasmine, who's watching us a year from now, is going to blossom and bloom into something that you've always wanted to be. So thank you, future Jasmine, for keeping me safe and for doing everything for your greatest good. Love ya. Love you, girl.
That was beautiful.
And when you think about future Jasmine, what do you think future Jasmine would have to say to you?
Future Jasmine.
Perhaps a reminder, perhaps an encouragement.
Well, if I can think about me a year ago, it's probably going to be the same thing, actually. It would be all of your worries are baseless. Don't let fear control you. Let your love be stronger than your fear always. And keep finding the silver linings, ponder on things that lighten you and not things that darken you. And, yeah.
Wow.
That was awesome.
I'm poetic. What can I say? I've been writing. Oh, wait. Sorry. That was different conversation. I was going to say, I've been writing. So as a little task or a little goal of mine, the entire month of February, I decided to write a poem every day. Every day. For the whole month of February. It's the love month, I love writing. I love finding deeper parts of myself. And as someone who does write but doesn't do it consistently enough, this was a fun little challenge. It was like a healthy goal. But I did it, and every day I wrote something. And I think that my writing, now I kind of reach for, my notebook a little bit more, just out of instinct. And my thoughts seem to flow, and I feel like a little bit more articulate than most days in the past. But I find myself speaking in poem in a strange way. It's infiltrated every aspect of my being, but I can't be totally mad at that. But yeah, that is something.
And we're not mad. It's great for a podcast to have
Great
someone
for the
that
pod.
speaks in poems.
What can I say?
But yeah, thanks so much for joining us today,
Thank you for having
Jasmine.
me.
We'll make a little song, put it on the tape. Everybody, come on out to the listening party, hear all the songs.
Jazz
We've got
Cafe might have a little pop up at the listening party.
You better watch the fuck out for Jazz Cafe. All right, everyone. That was the Changhoff podcast. Thank you so much, Jasmine, for being on. You know how much we love you.
AJ wants to say something.
Where can people find you?
People can find me at Jasminag, JSMNAG on Instagram. You can find Jazz Cafe at Cats Are Cookin'. You have to spell cats. Cats RARE. Cookin' without the G, right? And then www.jazzcafe.love is my website for my baked goods. But that's where you find me. That's where you find me. You can find me in the walls. You can find me
in the trees.
in the
In your
trees.
heart.
You can find me in your heart. You can find me
Songs of the birds.
in the
and
gentle breeze of the wind. You can find me in the way that the sun, hits your skin in the morning. You can find. Okay, I'm done.
No, keep going.
I'm good.
Thank
You
you,
can find
Jasmine.
me in.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you, guys.
You know how much we love you. Thank you for being a part of this podcast.
Do I say it again? Just kidding.
We love Jasmine.
It was an absolute pleasure. Now let's make a banger song.
Woo.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all of the YouTuber things. Again, Changhoff mixtape listening party at Bananas Records in St. Petersburg, Florida on March 28, 2025 at 7 p.m. Be there or be square.
Good morning. Good night. Happy birthday.
Happy Ramadan.
Happy Ramadan. Happy
Hanukkah, Kwanzaa,
Happy Lent.
Christmas.
They could be any time. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Everything. All right.
Happy birthday.
That's AJ. I'm Jacob. That's Jasmine. This is Changhoff. Peace out, everyone.
Mwah.
Bo, 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 bo.